it's really not a bad price on them to win the whole thing.
Yeah, we were just looking through their schedule again today, and we don't see any losses or anything that's remotely close to a loss for them next year, that they really should run the table and get to that, obviously the playoffs and go from there. But, with the combinations that they have coming back, they're the favorite going in, definitely.
How was the result for the house? And let me specifically ask about one thing, because, of course, live wagering, I'm sure, was heavy on this game. Did you get did you get a bunch, in fact, of early in-game money on Alabama when they fell behind, with the thought that now, people might be able to get plus, and that certainly didn't work out if they took Alabama live.
Yeah, we did, and that's what you tend to see is when a team that the public sided with and they get behind and you can get them at a better price than you got pregame, you'll see a lot of that money show up, which that happened last night. So the pregame result was good for us, and that the results varied from book to book around town based on what kind of house players you might have had. We had a house player that bet 100,000 on Alabama -5 here. So our best result was Clemson. We had some Clemson moneyline money, but Clemson winning the game was a good result for us.
Jeff, with the in-game, staying with that thought, is that game got off to such a quick start offensively, and that total was just rolling in-game. How much money did you get people jumping on thinking this was going to be the Rams-Kansas City, and then all of a sudden it just barely got over the original number?
Yeah, and that's what we saw. Just along the lines with Alabama, we saw a lot of over support. So it was all Alabama and over, and when it got to that point where it couldn't achieve the total that was being offered in progress, it was a really good result for us for the in play.
Before we get to the NFL, I have to, I like to listen to VSiN. We know all the guys down there, great bunch of guys, and Mitch and Paulie do a terrific job. So what is this? I did not get the whole thing, but apparently you were making a price on the chances of Paulie having success trying to date somebody who works at Superbook.
That wasn't me doing it. Kelly in Vegas set the number at 22-1 for him to get a date with one of the waitresses here, and I just happened to chime in and say I think she's missing some zeros. So he didn't take to that too kindly, but I thought I just had to bust him on that one.
Good move. All right, so let's look ahead to the NFL and this weekend, and the one game, I guess we're seeing a little bit of movement on all the games, but the one that kind of jumps out from where it opened, at least globally, to where it is now is the Eagles and Saints. What the heck's going on there?
Well, we opened the Saints as a 9-point favorite, and we were anticipating, this is the last game of the 4, and we always see money line liability and teaser liability on that game, as we did with the Eagles-Bears this last week, and we had a lot of liability no matter what happens in that game. So we made the number about 8, but we wanted to start it a little bit higher to take teasers into account. And right away, the Sharps took the 9. They took the 8.5, so we're settled in at 8, pretty much the number we made. But we tried to be proactive from a teaser point of view in that game.
Can it get any lower?
Well, the public is betting the dogs on these games right now. They really like the Colts against the Chiefs. The Rams-Cowboys is getting two-way support. The Chargers are getting a little bit more support than the Patriots. But the public is siding with the dogs this weekend, opposite of what we saw last weekend. So
I think the public might get their lunch handed to them. Just my opinion, but I think the favorites do no worse than split this weekend. So this might end up.
It's been an incredible.
This might end up pretty good.
Going back to last year, playoffs, and so far this year.
How that runs.
I know, and then the way the Bowls ended with all of the dogs. Dog lovers are living large right now. We'll see if it continues. Switching over to basketball, Jeff, we've got the big move in Minnesota. They fire the coach, who's also the GM, after, a 22-point win the other night? Hey, congratulations, great game. By the way, clear out your locker.
I'm not sure he was – I've never been convinced that he was really the GM there. I don't think it was him bringing in those players, because I don't think he'd ever would have brought in Butler in the first place.
What's your reaction to Minnesota moving forward?
Well, I thought the way they approached the season, they did everything wrong. They should have taken care of the Butler situation before the season started to come in with a proper team going forward. And it bled into the season, and now it led to Thibodeau's ousting just because of the way things went. And he had a conflict with the management on this issue. And I think they just felt like it was time to part ways. They weren't seeing eye to eye. Now we have Ryan Saunders' flip son stepping in to coach the team. And I think he'll try to run things somewhat similar to what we've seen, because to make too many changes is going to put the team in a bad position, as if they already weren't enough early on. But it should be interesting to see how long he's given the opportunity here and what he does with the team.
Where's the money showing tonight on games, and do you have anything that you like that you see stands out?
I didn't play anything on this card tonight. The only thing I was leaning somewhat is, I know you were talking about an angle on that Thunder Timberwolves game, but with the Thunder coming off a bad loss to the Wizards, and then Minnesota's situation about coming off a big win and having a coaching change, I could almost see playing the Thunder in the first quarter, because I think the Thunder might come out with more energy than the Timberwolves. But other than that, I really didn't get too involved in the card. We're seeing a lot of public play on the 76ers from 8.5 to 9, the Pacers, and actually one dog we've seen money on is the Knicks against the Warriors. So the Knicks off a back-to-back. This line opened 18, and it's down to Warriors 16.5 right now.
PGA is back in action, and right out of the gate, we've got Xander Schauffele and Gary Woodland engaging in a great duel. I think these are two breakout guys this year that could get multiple wins during the course of the year. So let's talk about the Sony Open and also about those two guys in terms of the majors and futures, because I think these are guys at prices that could be live.
Yeah, that was crushing last week. I had Woodland at 28 to 1. I didn't think it was going to end up that way, but he played a good Sunday round too, and Schauffele just played unbelievable to earn the win. And Schauffele's already seen his future odds dip pretty strongly. You could have got him at 50 to 1 prior to this tournament. He's pretty much 30 to 1 now for the Masters. So some quick adjustments to that. Same with the FedEx Cup odds. And Woodland, just like you mentioned, he finished off the year strong, did well last week. He's going to a course this week at Waialae Country Club that he's got a good history here. The third choice at 14 to 1 this week.
What do you think about a guy who, and see, this is, I'll rely on your expertise here, because it's not a team sport. We know about letdowns off tough losses sometimes for a team. This has to go as a tough loss for Woodland. I think it's a tournament he probably thought he was going to win heading down the stretch on Sunday. Is that a guy you look to fade in matchups the next week?
In this situation, I wouldn't. Some of these guys, if he had a lead and he blew it and shot over par and came back and went that direction, I look to fade that. But he went out and shot 5 under with no bogeys and played well. And I think that he's going to carry that momentum a positive way into a course this week that he has a good history on.
Moving over to soccer, what's the match of the week this week for you, Jeff?
There's not too many games going on. There's still a lot of domestic leagues on break, but we'll have to just stick with the EPL. And we have Man United at Tottenham, two of the heavyweights in the Premier League. So Tottenham's sitting in third, and Man United is in sixth right now. And Man United's actually 4-0 since they parted ways with Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, so that works. So that new coach theory works in soccer as well.
It did. They've outscored their opposition 14-3 in the 4 games since. So they're playing a lot better right now, and this should be an interesting one playing it in London.
All right. That's some good information. 4-0. Yeah. Not bad. If you got on it right away, you've already picked up 4 winners. You just play it until it ends. It's a good angle.
Situations work in so many different cross sports. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You're dealing with athletes and emotions.
I picked up. The best thing I did in baseball this year,
St. Louis,
was the Cardinals. I waited for a little bit of a change when they made the managerial shift, and I picked up a lot of profits off that team, which balanced off some of the losses I took on other teams. So it worked out pretty well. Jeff, what else is going on at the amazing Superbook?
Just in the college basketball swing right now. We have a full slate of games because we offer the extra games on a daily basis. Right. First half, second half. We're one of the few books that offer all those. So. Absolute plethora of college basketball right now. And
by the way, there's now MVP voting available. I get the little note every time I go to my Superbook app. A little reminder from John Murray comes on that says that we've got MVP balloting available. So there's lots of cool things to bet on.
Yeah, and that one's seen a lot of movement. You could have got Harden 7-1 just last week, and now he's down to a right near even money favorite after the couple-week stretch that he's had.
Well, have they identified whether he's actually human or some kind of an alien from outer space? Because what that guy's doing right now is absurd.
Yeah, and it's not only what he's doing. He's putting up the numbers, but his team is getting wins. They're on a terrific run right now, too, to get back. They're leading the division after they were outside the playoffs. And he's definitely got all the momentum going forward.
Everybody should grow a beard. That's where the secret.
I still want to see him do it in the playoffs. Win that key playoff series.
It might happen this year. It might. The Warriors. Very quickly before we go, how real is this on the Warriors? Because now is this just a mirage? Are they going to be the Warriors come playoff time, or is this something that maybe there are some chinks in the armor?
Well, I think Draymond Green is not as effective as he's been, but for the rest of the cast, they'll be just fine, because I've seen this in prior seasons with them, that they get bored and complacent, and this is the preseason to them. It doesn't matter what their seeding is. When they get to the playoffs, they're the most talented team, and they'll put it together, and the prices will be reflected at that point. So the one thing you might be able to find is the price on the Warriors easing down below $2 to a price that might be attractive enough, because they'll be fine as long as they're injury-free.
They don't play defense till the playoffs. Their defense is not good this year so far, in my opinion.
It's a long exhibition season.
It
Just
is.
Get ready for the real thing, which starts come springtime. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
Jeff Sherman can be followed on Twitter at Golf Odds. Boy, that's some good information right down the line. Football, basketball, hockey. We didn't cover the hockey or baseball tonight, but soccer, golf. Those guys behind the counter down at that location, they do a phenomenal job.
Money's money. Doesn't matter what sport it is. If you can find that edge that's going to produce positive EV for you moving forward, you got to do it.
Speaking of edges, Joe's Angle of the Day is provided by Ralph Michaels from the Wager Talk team, and he's got one for us next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
Come watch exciting hockey action at Pizza Rock inside of Green Valley Ranch Hotel and Casino. Score $4 meatballs, $5 one-topping personal pizzas, and $4 well, wine, and 32-ounce PBRs. Hockey is at Pizza Rock inside of Green Valley Ranch every week.
Team Ford Lincoln has just won the prestigious Ford Triple Crown Award again. That's great news for you, because this award can only be won by being the best in customer service and satisfaction. Team Ford Lincoln is the only dealership in Nevada to win the Triple Crown 3 straight years. This means Team Ford Lincoln is the best of the best of the best. One team driven by excellence. Team Ford Lincoln, US 95 and Ann Road. Let's go.
The kitchen calendar may say 2019, but if your kitchen's more like 1992, come into the Home Depot for up to 30% off appliance special buys, like a 4-piece stainless steel Samsung kitchen suite, now just $2,978. More than $2,000 off a Samsung fridge, gas range, microwave, and dishwasher. Better mark it on your new calendar. Up to 30% off select appliances, now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only while supplies last. See store for details. Electric range available at extra cost. Valid through January 23rd.
24/7, 365. You're up and at 'em every day, so you don't want something like Medicare Part D to slow you down. At Walgreens, we'll take care of your Medicare Part D prescriptions, saving you time and money. Make the switch to Walgreens today and get more by earning 100 balance reward points and save up to $5 on each Medicare Part D prescription when Walgreens is your preferred pharmacy. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Prescription savings applies to Tier 1 generics when you fill at a preferred versus a non-preferred pharmacy on select plans. Points can't be earned in New York, New Jersey, or Arkansas. Other restrictions and limitations apply.
If you're lucky enough to live near the Napoli's Pizzeria on Warm Springs Road or the location on West Sahara, you're in for a treat. During game time, these two locations are offering a one-topping 18-inch pizza and 10 wings for just $25.99. That's a huge one-topping 18-inch pizza and 10 wings for $25.99. And don't forget, whenever there's a football game on, beer is just $2 at Napoli's. When you crave great pizza, Napoli's Pizzeria is the place to go. For the complete menu, just click LasVegasPizzeria.com.
See your Vegas Golden Knights on January 10th against San Jose on the Flight Deck, presented by Allegiant. The Flight Deck is where all the off-the-ice excitement happens, from the Knights Castle to the Night Line. Tickets in the Flight Deck are standing room only and include all-you-can-eat food, beer, and wine. Tickets are just $150. Go to LVSportsNetwork.com for the link and use the promo code RADIO. Sponsored by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorneys. In a wreck and need a check? One call. That's all. Resale and transfer restricted on these Flight Deck sales. Tickets will be delivered via flash seats 48 hours before the game.
Hey guys, have you been hearing about low T and testosterone therapy? Testosterone is the cornerstone of a man's health. After age 30, we may lose about 2% of our testosterone each year. This causes us to lose energy, get fatter, lose sex drive, and disrupts our sleep. We think we are just getting old when that feeling is really caused by low T. Universal Men's Clinic has local medical providers specializing in restoring your testosterone. We have had success with many patients.
Our medical staff will monitor every step of your progress, evaluating your blood levels and symptoms. Within a few weeks, many patients have reported more natural energy